Hi, folks, and welcome to their Saturday Morning Samoflange. I'm Matt, and everyone else is sick. So Mikey said he wasn't feeling good. We waited 2 days. Benjamin said he wasn't feeling good, and we ran out of time. I got to get these recorded here. So I hope my fellow co-hosts are feeling much better, but the show must go on. I must keep ahead. I'm trying to stay 2 weeks ahead on these, and if I miss one, because I don't know if I can record one next week. Oh, mercy, getting these out on time. But again, no one's fault. They were sick. It's okay. It's all right. I think they were lying about it. I'm just kidding. So we're going to do, and this is a sad one because these guys would have had more to say on this and probably would have had more crossover. Like, I would have been safe picking like 2 or 3 crossover. Not that I was probably going to have crossover from Mikey for sure. 1 crossover, but I think Benjamin and Mikey would have a lot more crossover than I would. They play a lot of the new games. I play none of the new games. Video games is my weak spot here. In fact, oh gosh, the newest game would have been in the late 2000s, I think, on my list. So I mean, I am over 10 years. You know, none of those video games will be on my list, guaranteed. Because I'm just not the video game player. For anyone who hasn't heard the story a million times, I was playing video games. My Xbox died because somebody, an in-law, was watching DVDs on it one day and just left it. Watch movies on it all day long, and then fell asleep with it on. And I woke up the next morning, didn't realize it was on, left. Came back, she never turned it off, and of course it being on for so long gave it the red ring of death, and couldn't afford another one. So my wife was saving up to buy me one for Christmas, and meanwhile board games came into my life at that time because I didn't have video games. And so when the video game console came back in, I thought, okay, well, here I am back into video games. But then downloadable content started coming out. They started selling you half a game. The rest of it you had to buy downloaded. Then they started selling you 1% of the game, and 99% of it you had to buy online. So, I mean, it just, I wasn't happy to how the business was turning, and no one was complaining about it. Everyone was gobbling up the downloadable content and just the cheap way they keep making you pay for the same game over and over and over again. So I was done. I was out. Made it easy. Plus I was really enjoying board games. And I enjoyed board games as a kid. So, hey, I'm happy I have all the board games I have today. So, but because of that, though, I don't play video games that much. During paternity leave, I played Batman Arkham City and Asylum. Really like Asylum. Asylum is now, if you would have asked me, a few months ago, to best my memory serves me, I would have said Arkham City. I just thought it was such a great video game. But Arkham Asylum is pretty tight, pretty awesome. And I had a lot of fun playing it. So, did everything but catch the Riddler. I had 97.5% of all the Riddler trophies. And I thought at 95% you caught him. You know, do you have to catch everything? I guess you do. But on Riddler trophies, I'm at 97.6% trophies or whatnot. There's like 3 or 2 trophies out there that I can't find that would, round it up to 100, and I cannot for the life of me find them. So I even have the map that shows me where it is, or where around it is, and I just cannot find it. And every time I look online, I don't see anyone that can find it for me either, because usually there's someone who's showing you them all, but for some reason, the videos I found, they either skip over that one, or when I think they go to it, it's a different Riddler trophy I already found. I'm like, where's mine? So I gave up on that one. I didn't even bother with Arkham City. Good grief! I beat every other side mission. I have beat Riddler before, but I remember in Arkham City it was really hard to do. But anyway, so I played those games. Played a few old. Mikey gave me some old Nintendo games, all in Nintendo Mini. Played a bunch of that stuff. I am going to bring that to our beach vacation and play it with my nephews. It's a kind of a surprise for my nephews. They love video games a lot, and of course I'm a board game guy. I will bring a board game, but I'm going to bring that video game box. I still need to get some N64 controllers because it plays N64 games, and that's the only thing I haven't played on it yet was the N64 game. So they're on my Amazon wish list. The USB N64 controller. I just need to buy 2 of them before the beach comes around. So I've got a few months to say. Well, actually, oh geez, it's catching up on me. Yeah, about a month and a half before we go to the beach. So I need to get them before then. So eventually, very soon, I guess I'll be getting those. But like I said, Benjamin and Mikey, I really wish they could have been here because they know way more about video games and play way more video games than I do. Especially Mikey's list would have been interesting. Now, usually when they say they can't make it, they send me the list. But this time, neither one of them did. So it's just going to be me. And again, if you have a top 5, you can go ahead and put them in there. If I've even heard of 2 of them, I'd be surprised. This list came about because Halo had a TV series. I didn't watch it. I didn't know about it. It was, in my opinion, it was not marketed well because I didn't know about it till like a week before it was coming out. And I was like, wait, what? They're doing a Halo? And I thought that was awesome. But then I read about it, and they're saying, well, we didn't have to watch the video game to make a great story or what. I was like, oh, I'm out. Hollywood's going to screw it up. And it's sad because if they would have made it even 10 years ago, I think it would have been a great show. But 15 years ago definitely would have been an awesome show. But now it's got to be a different show now, so I didn't bother watching it. I heard it got terrible reviews, and that's a shame. Because if it hadn't been for that, it would have been on my list. Halo was a great game. I played Halo, Halo 2, Halo 3. I did play Halo 4, and all the little spin-offs, ODST, and Halo Wars, which sucked, and there's another one, Reach, Fall of Reach or something. And that was fun. Those were fun. 3 was kind of blah. But, of course, the good old days of having LAN parties, playing the regular Halo is just, I would do that in a heartbeat if that was a thing again, but no one does that. And then being online on Halo 2, some of those friends I made, I'm still friends with them today. Like, we call each other, talk to each other. They're actually some friends of mine that live in Phoenix, and whenever I would go there and visit, I'd always spend a night or an evening with them. So I made a lot of good friends with that. So I have a lot of good video game memories, but when Halo 3 came, they kind of cut off the chatter. I talk smack like everyone else, could talk smack like the best of them, and I do miss those days. It's kind of funny because it's weird, but if it was back in those days, I would probably start playing video games again. I say back when they were fun. That I don't even know if that makes sense to anyone, but see that video. But we used to have Mario Kart challenges. In fact, I think the most listened to podcast was when I brought my brother on here, and we talked about the Mario Kart challenge. That was years ago that we did that, but it was one of the most listened to podcasts. And because everyone was kind of funny, we had a Mario Kart challenge where the loser would have something bad happen to them, and I guess people thought it was really funny. It was funny to us, and that thing lasted until my brother graduated college. He was still carrying on. Now, I was out by the time he hit college, I think. I think I wasn't. I may have been involved in 1 or 2, his freshman and sophomore year. But junior, senior year, I was out. I was out by then and moving on. And he was still carrying the flame, like making like T-shirts and everything for it. But the Mario Kart challenge, how it started off and how it ended was just great. It had some great stories, still has some great memories. And you're thinking, why would you want to play it if the results was to stay outside in the freezing cold winter in your boxers for an entire round while they played another entire race, or get hot wax poured on you. Or, oh my goodness, what was the other thing? I can't remember. There's some awful, the spoonful of love, which was all the grossest things we could fit out of the refrigerator onto a spoon, and you had to, or the lick of your life, which was licking a dusty item around the house. I mean, it's like just torturous stuff, but we had fun time. And yes, I did suffer and come in last here and there, but mainly I was always good about coming in second or third. I was rarely first because I was never the best, but I rarely came in last. So I'd be second or third place, and I was happy about that position because you did, as long as you weren't fourth. Third place had to hold the camera, so I held the camera a lot because we videotaped all of this back in the day. And second place sometimes got to share in the reward, but they just kind of sat out and watched while, they had the option to film, but usually they just wanted to watch. And first place got to do whatever the bad thing was to last place. So those memories are a lot of fun too. But like I said, I had great memories with video games, but now with board games, it's something about them. I just love them. Like I said, I loved them as a kid. They've gotten even better and smarter now. And so now let's go ahead and get to this. Let's go ahead and get to this. 5. Are these in order too? Yeah, I think they are. I think I wrote out the first 5 that came to mind, and I think I'm going to keep the order that I wrote them out in and go backwards through them. So number 5, Punch-Out. Mike Tyson's still around, so you can do Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. You maybe have to CGI him a little bit, but I think that story would be great. All the wonderful characters that are in that. Nintendo was very greedy in not giving out the movie rights to a lot of their video games. But I think Punch-Out, someone could have made a good... I think this would have been a great Tim Burton one because the characters are so eccentric that Tim Burton could bring them out. Soda Popinski and Sandman and the Bull Guy and King Hippo. They're cartoon characters. But I think with great makeup, Tim Burton could have brought them to life and had like a weird Edward Scissorhands meets Rocky, is what I kind of imagine it would have been. And I would have loved to have seen it. I think it would have been great with him fighting. Let's say he makes this in the 90s, mid-90s or whatnot, or early 90s, then you still have a very good-looking and fit Mike Tyson who can play the role of himself at the end and really scare the bejesus out of you at the end. So I think that'd be really cool. So Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. Now, myself, never made it past the Sandman, the person right before, or was it Macho Man? I can't remember. It was Macho Man or Sandman, the guy right before Mike Tyson. Everyone's screaming right now because you know what it is. Don't worry, I'll already look it up by the time this podcast is over. But I could not beat that guy. I could not beat him. Everyone else could. And of course, fighting Mike was very intimidating, but every time he blinked, that's when you knew you could block his punches and get a hit in on him. So you knew his tell sign. But I think it was Macho Man was his name. But for me, he was hard to time or get down a timer on him. Like the Bull Guy, sometimes I'd beat him easily, and then sometimes I'd lose against him because I could never time him right. But that was always fun to me. In fact, I did play Punch-Out on the Nintendo system that Mikey gave me and got all the way up to that last guy. I think it is Macho Man now that I keep saying it. Got up to Macho Man and could not beat him. Couldn't watch videos on how you beat him and everything, and I could not. Still my skills are limited. Yes, I know the code to get to Mike Tyson. I did play him. I did beat him, but that's not the same as beating them. I got to go all the way through it. Can't skip to the end. Remember when you knew the code for Mike Tyson, and so you wrote it down immediately, and you type it in, and just go straight to the top. Yeah, you go to the end of the game. I get it. That's kind of fun, but I like beating up on all the other people. It was a whole lot of fun. So I think that'd make a great movie. Number 4 for me this is a weird one from N64, but Conker's Bad Fur Day. One of my roommates and I bought this game. I don't remember why. It was one of the last N64 games ever to be made. And, my roommate he said, well, this looks good. I said, that looks like crap. I said, I do not want to buy that. But I told him I'd go in halvesy with him because we wanted to buy something together. And he convinced me that this was going to be good. He said, this looks good. And I was like, oh, this looks like garbage. I don't want to do this. But I told you I'd go halvesy. Let's do it. And we played it. And it was hilarious. I don't think I have it. I don't know who got to keep it when we split. He may have taken it because he kind of split out and left me high and dry with the rent. That was a great story. But he took everything that was his, and he may have taken that N64. I don't know, though. I feel like I have it in my box of games, though. I feel like I saw it when we moved. Either way, though, it was such a funny I mean, he wakes up drunk, puking in a toilet. This is an N64 game. It looks like it's for kids. He fights a big old pile of poo, but they call it something else. And I was like, wow, what is going on? And we would just laugh as we were playing the game. And it was just so funny and so hilarious. I think this would have made a great movie. A great movie. And to be fair, I don't even remember most of the story to Conker's Bad Fur Day. I just remember we kept laughing. And like at the very beginning, it shows him thrown up in a toilet. He's hung over, and now he has to go on an adventure. And I was like, what the heck? And we just kept laughing all the way through it. And I was like, you know what? I never thought I would love this game. I said, but I do. And my buddy's like, yeah, like he knew the whole time. I don't think he knew at all. I think he just thought it looked like a fun game. But Conker's Bad Fur Day would be number 4. Number 3, I've actually just talked about already. I just realized I gave a tail sign on one of the games I wanted to talk about here, but it's Batman Arkham, Arkham City, Arkham Asylum. I don't know. I believe Paul Dini wrote this video game, and he did the Batman animated series. He's fantastic. Why is he not writing for Batman movies today? I don't know, because he's just too good. But I think if they did an Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, and Arkham Knight, even though I've never played it, I'm sure the story's good. If they made that the next trilogy, I think people would be blown away. You get to see all the villains, and it all kind of ties together in a centric story where Joker is at the middle, of course. And just recently playing through them again, I still think it's a great story. I was like, man, this is great stuff. Good stuff. Scary moments and everything. Like, I remember scary moments for me. When I first played Arkham Asylum, it's got to be Killer Croc, right? Because when he jumps out of the water and roars and charges after you and you have to hit him with that batarang, that's not too bad, but at the same time, freaks you out because you don't know where he's coming or when he's coming. And when you run too fast on the boards and he just comes out of the water and gets you, that's scary too. To me, that was probably one of the scariest moments. And then the Scarecrow moments where he's you're living in his nightmare, where he's got these spotlights for eyes, and he's this giant looking around. You're trying to make it from wall to wall, barrel to barrel, hiding from his lights, not getting caught. And if you get caught, you scream. That was just great stuff. And then in Arkham City, scary moments are, for me, Solomon Grundy was a big scary moment for me, and Clayface at the end. The Clayface fight at the end, I was like, oh my gosh. Just really good stuff. So, but as I look at that, I was like, man, it'd be awesome if they'd make that into a movie. I think that would be great. I think it'd be leagues better than the stupid Batman movie that just came out, or anything basically that's come out since, I hate to say this, but Tim Burton's Batman. Don't want to feel like an old fogey. They never made a better Batman after that. I mean, they made some decent Batmans. I liked the first 2 Christopher Nolan Batman. I said, okay, the first one wasn't that bad. I was like, that was actually pretty good. I was impressed. And then the second one came, I was like, oh no, Heath Ledger the Joker. No, yuck, boo. But it was very good. The Dark Knight was very good. Dark Knight Rises, somehow they just can't do Bane. They keep screwing him up. Bane needs to have big muscles, and he needs to be a regular body lifter. Get one of these big wrestlers to play him. But then you CGI bow him up when he gets the venom. He can kind of look cartoony too. I didn't say who I'd get to direct all of these, but maybe I don't know who I'd direct. I know who I'd get to direct Conker's Bad Fur Day. Watiti Wataka, whatever. That dude makes funny stuff here and there. What We Do in the Shadows is hilarious. And then who would I get to do the Batman? I can't say Tim Burton again, but it'd have to be someone with an eye for scary, freaky. I don't know. I'd have to think. I didn't think about directors for any of these. I didn't go that deep into making my top 5 here. But and I don't even know the story to Arkham Knight. I always imagine that one day when they drop the price, I'm sure I can get the Xbox whatever 360 has been replaced by something else now, I hear. So I can probably find a 360 for way cheaper and then I can buy a used copy of Arkham Knight easily too. That's easy peasy stuff there, and I'd finally get to play it. Would I be good at it? I don't know. I did not replay Arkham Origins. Even though I liked Arkham Origins, I decided against it because I just didn't have the time. I was wasting, well, I say wasting. I felt like I was wasting time playing video games when I was playing video games. And so I was like, I don't want to waste any more time playing video games. Yeah, I had every intention to play through Arkham Origins. I've only played through it once. I think Arkham Asylum and Arkham City I played through three times each now. 3 or 4 times each now. But with Arkham Origins, I played it through once. That whole glitch where you're fighting Firefly pissed me off to no end. I know they never fixed that glitch. So it freezes up your whole game too. It just sucks. So yeah, that would be a headache. But for me, it wasn't just the glitch. It was just because I just didn't have the time anymore. And I was like, screw it. I was like, I'm not even going to bother with it. But I mean, yeah, you could make Arkham Origins, I guess, a movie. The story was fine. I didn't have anything against the storyline. I just hated that, glitch on it and how lazy that other team was not to fix it. But I would play Arkham Knight. I'd probably suck at it because it took me a while to get okay at Asylum and Arkham City. But, it's not important to me. It's not worth spending that money. Even if it's like $100 for everything or $75 for everything, it's just not worth that money. It's not worth that money. So, I mean, yeah, maybe someone would give me their old Xbox, and then maybe someone would give me the game, and then I'd play it and give it back to them. Because I'm not going to use it. I know I'm not going to use that 360 ever again. I don't even play DVDs anymore. That my Xbox, we had it at the old house where you used to play DVDs on it. And when we moved here, we moved my DVD case in, but we haven't watched a DVD yet. Or I haven't, at least. Haven't watched a DVD yet. If it ain't streaming, I'm not watching it now. So I'm completely streaming now. And I don't know if Books A Million is still doing those buybacks on DVDs, but I meant to dump those years ago, and I should be dumping them now before they become completely pointless and useless. Because I tried to get rid of a ton of DVDs, and I wish I would have gotten rid of more now. Either way, that's not neither here nor there. Let's go to number 2. Number 2 is the only Star Wars one on this list. It is X-Wing Rogue Squadron, or Rogue Squadron, the first video game. I love that game. That's why I want to get the N64 controller, because I want to play Rogue Squadron again, not Rogue Squadron 2. I hated that game. But Rogue Squadron to me was so much fun. Different adventures. Of course, you can unlock the Dark Empire scenario, which I thought was really cool. And I got that one. I got that one unlocked, and the Falcon, and all these special things you could unlock and play with. And oh mercy, even though the Falcon to me wasn't the best, it was nice to pilot the Millennium Falcon, but I think it was hard to steer or turn for me. For me, it was. But that deserves its own movie, and that was kind of EU as video games go, but they just had just great stories, and it was just so much fun to play. Again, that's one of the big reasons I want N64. That and to play No Mercy again. That was a really fun N64 game. But yeah, Rogue Squadron was one of my favorites, so I would love to see that as a movie. And then number 1, this is the one that I think was going to be the big crossover with Mikey. I don't know if Benjamin would have had this on his list, but I feel like Mikey definitely would have had it. May not be his number 1, but he definitely would have had it. And I think this would be on a lot of people's lists, especially if they played it. Zelda. Who didn't want a Zelda movie? You get that. We watched that awful cartoon in the 80s all the time and loved it, where he would go, "Excuse me, princess," like totally dumb. But we watched it, and we ate the crappy cereal that they came out with the Mario Zelda cereal. It was awful. That cereal tastes like barf. But we wanted it, because why? Because Zelda's there. Anything Zelda was really cool. And to have a movie in there, oh man, they missed their chance. They could have done that. Now, they could have had several, it could have been a movie series going on. You replace Link, it's like 007. You just replace Link with a new actor. and then go at it with a new adventure. I think that'd be totally fun. And for the longest time, I always said that my favorite Zelda was the one for Super. I think it's Super Nintendo, Link to the Past. I did play that one, and I played it again just recently with, of course, Mikey's super souped up Nintendo he gave me, and discovered that it's not the best. You know, I didn't have as much fun on it as I remember. I always remember thinking this is the best Zelda they've ever come out with, and me and my brother still talk like that today. Or last time I talked to him about Zelda games, but now that I've played it recently, no, the original is the best, and I played the original. I played the original all the way through. You know, beat Ganon and everything. Had a great time. Would definitely play through that again. That's just an adventure we can just play through over and over and over again. Adventures of Link, the second one, Zelda 2, played it once, hated it, never played it again. Link to the Past, I played through a lot as a kid. I beat it and then started over again and beat it again. But I think I'm done playing that one. Wind Rakers, I played, never beat, because I didn't own it. I borrowed it from someone over the weekend, and I thought that I don't care about finishing this. Ocarina of Time, and I beat that one. And Mask of Majaro, I beat those, but will never play those again. Like when I get the N64 controller, I'm not going to go back and play those. I was basically pissed the whole time. My roommate had gone and beaten them both, and then he would hand me the controller as I went through my separate adventure, and he'd just tell me where to go. And I was like, there's no skill involved here. You just got to go and find out where you need to go, or keep hitting them bushes to get coin or whatnot. So you can get enough, spend 2 hours collecting coins or rubies so you can spend them on one item you need to finally advance in the game. How dumb was that? That would not be in the movie. We would not make the movie realistic to the game, where it's just 3 hours of Zelda wandering aimlessly about, chopping up leaves, and occasional wandering guards. You know, maybe you'd have a montage where he keeps trying to do it and goes, dang, that took a long time to get all these gems. I mean, that'd be funny, a little wink to the game. But I think Zelda would just make it excellent. And of course, the score has to be John Williams. John Williams had an album, I can't remember what it was called, A Salute to America or something about America, and he covered Super Mario Brothers and Zelda. An orchestra did it. And I used to have that CD, I think it was, and I lost it. And I cannot figure out the name of it or where it was, but I feel like it was John Williams doing Zelda and Super Mario Brothers, and then a bunch of other American classics at the time. And boy, did I listen to that album over, just those two songs. You know, I can hear it in my head right now as I'm talking about it. But it sounded so beautiful. And the music, I'll be honest, the music to all the Zelda games I just mentioned, were beautiful. I wouldn't even change the soundtrack. You know, I'd have that be it. I don't know. I mean, would you get someone as giant as Spielberg to go ahead and do this? You kind of feel like that's the case. But Ron Howard, who did Willow, I think he'd be a good choice for Zelda. I think he'd make it good. But, you know, and you'd cast Zelda as like you'd cast a younger, smaller actor, and, you know, I don't know who. I mean, I didn't think of cast either. I guess I should have come more prepared. But you could get someone, you know, that'd be fun to play Zelda, Link, I mean, and a princess to play Zelda, and then go for it. You know, Ganon would have to be. No, you could get makeup. You know, make Ganon a little bit, you know, larger than life. Try to avoid as much CGI as you could. But I think there'd be a lot of fun in that. And that's the one I know. I feel like we would have had a crossover over. And I don't know if Benjamin would have had any of these. I doubt it. Maybe Zelda he would have had, but I have a feeling that he and Mikey would have chosen a lot of newer games that I don't play. You know, I won't even try to name them because I'll look more old than, you know, I want to be. It's not going to make me look good naming some of these games that are probably not popular anymore, like Grand Theft Auto or whatnot. I thought about other games I love too, by the way. Like, I love Twisted Metal, but that wouldn't translate well into a movie at all. And I love Twisted Metal too. That's just probably, and everyone thinks that's the best one. And there's other games too that I enjoyed like Burger Time. I still love me some Burger Time today. I don't want that into a movie. It'd be a pretty lame movie too, I think. But hey, let me know what your top 5 video games that you'd like to see turned into movies would be. And I'll see you next time on Saturday morning. I get to say it all by myself now. Samoflange!